Now, Eshooter sent me this Smoky Tracer device, well, Chrono. You will go over the features in a little bit, and it couldn't have come on a better time because my previous tracer died that I got from my birthday from Lisa, and I was looking for a replacement. Now, I didn't expect this many features in this little device. And important in this video, I will go over the features of this. I didn't do a stress test yet. I didn't use it for a year yet. I just received it last week, and I wanted to do a video about the features because there are so many features packed into this device. Later on, I will make a test video where I will be using this for almost a year and bigger and smaller events, where I will go over the things that I liked, that I didn't like, and things that worked and didn't work. And there is already a few things that I will stress test a lot because there's a few questions I have, good or bad, and I will see how they hold up after a year of abusing this. Now, before we go into too much details, because at this one I didn't wrote down on my script, and I noticed when I picked it up that there is no trademarks on this. This is just a simple black tracer with a small logo in the front behind the clear plastic where the RGB lights are. And this is really nice because you can paint it, you can keep it black. There is no massive logo on the side. Really subtle touch from Eshooter to keep it very subtle with a small logo in the front that you really don't see from a distance. Now, a little backstory of how this device got into my hands. So we went to Iowa this year and we met up with Eshooter because I was interested in their drop targets. So you shoot at it, it drops down, it comes back up. You can link a lot of targets in the same group, so you can have a nice target shooting thing. So I was really interested to know a little bit more about the targets. And then they had this device. I didn't look at it that much because my tracer was still working, but I thought all the features into this, it was a lot of stuff to cram into a small device. So I was really interested how they were going to do it. And a few months later, they sent me a message if I wanted to test out their Smoky Tracer. And because my tracer died, this was a no-brainer. I said, yes, send me one for testing. And this is where we are today. And if we look at the tracer line that Eshooter has, from the smallest one with the least features to the one with the most features, they have a few different types of tracers depending on what you're looking for. If we start from the smallest one, there is the Flare Mono with just one color, there is the Flare M with a multicolor flare, there is the Flare M Bluetooth multicolor with Bluetooth connection, there is the Flare Cube Mono, this is one color flare, there is the Flare Cube Bluetooth with again multicolor flare and a Bluetooth connection, and there is the Flare Smoky with every single feature that we mentioned before and also smoke. And it's about this device that we're going to talk, obviously, because that's the one I have in my hand, that we're going to talk about today, and I will go over the features right now. Well, in a little bit, because I quickly want to say what's in the package. You get the box, then you have your tracer, of course. There is one bottle of essential oils with no flavor. There is your there is your adapter unit for different pistols and rifles. There is an Allen key to attach it. There is a spare knob for the fuel tank if you lose it for something, very smart. There is a rubber ring. There is the USB-C cable to charge it, and there is the manual with a very good instruction on how to use it. And they also sent me a other bottle of essential oil, which is strawberry raspberry cherry. And I'm very curious how that will smell if I'm shooting next to a person. But we'll see about that after testing it. All right, the features. Now, if you go to the website of Eshooter, you will find a full list of features, and it's those features that we're gonna go over today. I will give a little bit more explanation what those features mean and what my opinion is about certain features. Now, the first one is the low battery warning. Yeah, well, it is logical that if there is a print board inside, that they have the feature, if it's running low on battery, that you get a signal for that. Now, my previous tracers didn't have that, so cool addition on this one, and there are other tracers in the line, because the most features that we're going to talk about in the beginning are features that all the Eshooter tracers have. And the later features that we're going to talk about are more for the advanced tracers like the Smoky. Next feature is the 3 mode. If you look into the table, you will see that all the tracers have the 3 mode feature, which is weird because the Smoky has 8 modes. It has the flash, the tracer with flash, the tracer ratio, the flash and smoke, tracer and flash and smoke, tracer and smoke and tracer and ratio and smoke. There's a lot of N's here in this list, but that's 8 different modes. So they should update the list with just modes and then numbers. That would be a lot easier to read the table, because yes, of course it has 3 modes, but it also has 5 extra modes. And you can change the settings in the app, of course, with your Bluetooth connection, or you can just press the M button at the back of the tracer, and that will cycle through the different modes with a color indication that you can find in the manual. Now the C button on the other side, now that we're talking about the buttons, the C button will change the color of the flare itself, but your flare needs to be on. So if you change the C, it will change the color of the flare that you will be using. You will cycle through the predefined colors, but in the app you can change this to any color that you want. But if you just want to switch through predefined, click the C button. Let's go back to the one that I like, the yellow one. Next up, wake up by shaking. This is a really interesting feature because the tracer goes on standby after 5 minutes of not using it or feeling vibrations. That's basically how it detects if it is in use or not. And when it is in standby mode and you pick up your rifle, it will flash the front RGB LEDs. So don't look into your barrel because it is a very bright light. You shouldn't look into your barrel anyway, but this will remind you not to look inside of your barrel or in the vicinity or in the area of your barrel, because you will be blinded for a little bit. Dust proof and waterproof. I will let you know after a year of testing, bringing this to Bergen and Bellum, where there is a lot of sand and rain coming my way.
Sand. I hate sand.
But it looks very sturdy, and it has a lot of O-rings keeping the dust and the rain out, and I'm very curious if it will actually hold up to what they claim, because sand and water is not easy to keep out. But I will get to that in the 1 year later video. Strong compatibility. Well, a lot of the airsoft rifles and pistols are getting to a standard with a 40mm counterclockwise thread. So this is exactly the thread that is in this tracer unit. You can screw it to every rifle that has a 14mm counterclockwise thread, which is most of the rifles. And if you want to go to pistols, there's also the 11mm clockwise adapter that you can screw onto your pistol. Now note that ICS, for example, is using a different adapter, but those adapters are also in the box with the ICS pistols. They use a 11mm counterclockwise, but that adapter is also coming with the ICS pistol, so you can just use that tracer and screw it onto your pistol. The next feature is an interesting one because they say it is a wide range of applications. That's just like, it's a tracer. What other applications can it be used for? Especially because this is a feature that goes for all the tracers that just trace to the ones that smokes. So I do understand that it has a lot of modes, but what else can you use it for? Like, you want to see your friends in the dark while shooting at them because you have your flashlight flashing. Or you want to use the smoke to make fancy videos about products. It's a tracer. It has, the main feature is being a tracer with different modes. Now let's go to the next one. It has a fast response. Now my rifles shoot like max 18 rounds per second, so they claim that they can trace 50 rounds per second, which is, I totally get that, but with the naked eye you will not be able to see if every tracer has been lit by the light. So probably it's just, if it goes over, it just stays on constantly. But I do notice it traces every shot that I do, it flashes with every shot that I do. So yes, it is a fast response. Now the smoke, that is not a fast feature. It will only start emitting smoke after like a second or two. The liquid needs to heat up, the fan needs to push the smoke out, so that takes a little bit of time before the smoke gets out, but once the smoke is out, it will keep pushing smoke out. So if you just do one shot, you will not get the smoke, but if you keep shooting for a few shots, yes, you will get the smoke pretty fast. Ultra long standby time. Well, it claims that it will be on standby for 3 months, and you can use it for about 6 hours on the on mode. So I'm very curious for the longer games how long it takes to charge them, because well, if it's like a 50-hour game and I want to use this during the whole night, so I can charge it during the day so I can pick it up on the next night to start playing during the darker hours. So that is going to be interesting to see how long it actually keeps going. But 3 months on standby, that is long. So we'll see about that, and I will keep you up to date about that in the 1 year later video. Types of BBs, it takes red, green, gel BBs, white BBs, but of course the green BBs, the green tracer BBs are the best ones to have the longest tracing shot. The red ones, they're not that visible. The white ones, they will have the drag effect that we'll come to a little bit later, and the gel balls, probably is the same thing as the drag, because I don't shoot the gel balls with this one, so I don't know, but it is in the specifications and features. Now the next feature says that it is mini and lightweight. Lightweight, yes, it's about 105 grams for everything that is crammed into here. Now, is it mini? I don't think so. Like, these are the pistol tracers, those are mini. And it already has an adapter piece on top of it. So I would say small, but not mini. So it's weird to also have the full line saying that the Smoky Tracer is also a mini tracer. Now those pistol tracers are specifically built for tracers that are light. This one is a little bit bigger. Can you put it on a pistol? Of course you can put it on a pistol if you have the right thread on it. Now be careful, it is 100 grams that you put on top of your... wait, why aren't you screwing in? Now be careful, you are putting 100 grams on your barrel, so make sure that you have a fixed barrel or that your thread is connected to the outside of the pistol so it is not dragging your barrel down, and that will interfere with the action of your pistol. But can you put it on your pistol? Of course you can put it on your pistol. Will I be using it on my pistol? Yes, I will be using it on my pistol. Will it be cool? Yes, it will be cool. But I will be checking out how much it interferes with the action of the pistol itself. Now a rifle, that doesn't matter. Like, you can put it on any rifle, it's not gonna interfere with anything. One thing I do want to say about the build, and something that I'm gonna look for how well it will perform, is the plastic in the front of the tracer. I don't think it's polycarbonate, I think it's a plexiglass, so if the BB will hit this directly, I want to see how long it lasts into a CQB game, and if I can get spare parts if this actually breaks. And now we will come to the more special features for the Bluetooth version. So there is the Bluetooth Mini, the Bluetooth Cube, and then the Smoky Bluetooth version, and those have the RGB colors in the front, and they are bright. Yes, they are bright. Like, if I change the color, it will be very bright, and you will be able to see this from a long distance away. And I will look forward to start testing this in different settings, because during daytime it will be completely different than if I play with this in a dark room. Now it will also be depending if I use the smoke feature or not, because with the smoke dispersion, the light will be a lot more concentrated around the muzzle. Then the next feature, I don't really understand what it means. They say it's like continuously variable dimming. So it might mean two things. Like, yes, you can dim the light, because in the app you can say like, I don't want to have this light as bright, so I want to dim it a little bit. But it can also mean that it has a flame effect, and I did notice that like it's not lighting up the same time every single time that you shoot. So it might be that it's recreating a type of muzzle flash thingy. I don't know yet. So I will contact Eshooter to get a little bit more clarification about that, and then hopefully I can add that into the next video where I go over more details. And then the next feature is a very interesting one, because all the Bluetooth tracers have a chronograph built in. Now it does make sense because you need to have your registration of the BB anyway. So if you add in an extra measuring sensor, you can easily transfer that data to your app to measure how fast your BB is going through your tracer unit. So it does make sense with a little bit of extra hardware and some more software updates. You can have a chronograph inside of your tracer. This opens up some possibilities in the future for me as a player, but also as a organizer. Now, for example, if you play with gas rifles, during the hotter days, your rifle will be shooting hotter and hotter when your gas expands more and more because of the sun. Now with this, you can put an alarm on your Bluetooth device, like on your phone, to tell you, or I think it's the tracer that might be beeping. We'll talk about that later when I know more about that. And then you can put in a threshold. So if you go over a certain threshold, you know that, oh, I need to change my gas, or I need to store my mags in a colder environment so I don't go over the site limits. So that is a really cool feature. Now for me as an organizer, if we have a discussion about joules and people complaining about somebody shooting too hot, I can give him the tracer unit and I can actually see how hot he's shooting during a period of time. So I will see if I use this feature, but it is an interesting thing to think about. Next up, the drag light. So the drag light is, if you, well, I think it is, but I mean it. So the drag light, I think it means that if you shoot a wide BB, it will like show like a small drag of light that emitted. It's not emitted by the BB, but because the flash is flashing on the BB, it will create a drag-like effect that is like, it if you shoot, it's gonna look like there is a light coming out of your rifle, but it's not. It's the BB being lit by the tracer. You can have different colors on it. You can have a rainbow drag out of it. So a lot of interesting features if you want to go to a disco airsoft game. It's just fun. Like the whole tracer is just a fun gimmick to use on games to be more realistic or have a lot of fun. Next free OTA update. I think that's the app. You get free updates for the app. Interesting, thank you. And then another thing about the app is you get a real-time interaction if you're shooting, which is really interesting if you use the chronograph function to see how consistent your rifle is shooting. So yeah, I use it a little bit and it works really well if you're connected to your phone. And I will go over the app in a little bit when we're done with all the features. I will show you how the screens look and stuff like that. But at first I want to give you the last feature of the Smoky unit, and that is the smoke. It is what it is. It emits smoke through oil that is inside of the, well, it was on standby, that is in the unit. And it's a very nice effect. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do, but it is really cool. It looks really nice. And I look forward to start using this in CQB or just even woodland games, just because of how nice it looks. Now that I went over all the features, you may think, well, it is cool, but will this not just give my position away when I'm shooting this? And I was like, yeah, it will. And that's fine, because in real life there is muzzle flashes. Yes, there is muzzle adapters and muzzle breakers and muzzle flash hiders. That's the word I was looking for. So there is flash hiders, but you might still able to see a flash, some smoke, some particles moving. And I was like, well, we're playing Airsoft and this is a military simulation game that we're playing, so why not go as simulation as possible and actually have the muzzle flash, have the smoke being emitted by your rifle. So yes, it will reveal my position, but it will look cool while doing it. So yeah, I don't really care. If you want to be sneaky, don't use this. If you don't like this, don't use it. For me, I like the immersion. I like the fact that there's gonna be smoke, there's gonna be light being emitted by it. So yes, I will be using this and I will be loving the immersion of it. If you don't want that, don't get this one, get another one. Now let's quickly go over the app. There is a few things that you can do in the app. One is the chronograph, two is all the settings. You can change all the RGB colors, you can change the drag, you can have the dimmable light, you can choose how bright the light is, you can turn on and off some features. I will not go over the full details. I might make a different video about that to just go over the app. So if you want to have specific features from the app, I will have a different video. Maybe, we'll see. If you want it, let me know in the comments, then I can make that video to go over all the features in the app. But there's basically everything that you need to set up for this tracer unit is available in the app. And you can also just view the chronograph if you're shooting your rifle through the tracer unit to see how your rifle is performing real time. So for more information about this tracer unit and all the other tracer units and other stuff that Eshooter makes, go to Eshooter website for some more detailed information about pricing, shipping, how to get one, and where they are available. And I will of course put the link in the description of this video. So yeah, that's it about this tracer unit. I really look forward to start testing it because the first shots that I did with it, it was really nice. So that is about it that I need to say about this tracer unit. We went over the features, we went a little bit over the app. And like I said, I will make another video 1 year later to go over the durability and how I like this thing in different settings and games and environments. So if you want to keep up to date about that and you don't want to miss this, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, don't forget to like the video if you thought that this information was helpful. And I will be wishing you a very good day, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye.